Hello, everybody! Rob Tomlinson, DishNet34 here, welcoming you to today's broadcast of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 211. Whoo boy! First things first, I want to apologize for the delay in the live broadcast. I had a couple of things I needed to do today, and they ran a little bit longer than I thought I would past the original 1 o'clock start time, which was already delayed to noon, but whatever, it's all done now, so meh. Oh, gracious. So just, regular work stuff, nothing too big of a deal, but we are here right now to talk about some dang good cards today. I'm looking forward to this because we have quite a few to show off today in Baseball Reference Series 2, plus a little bit of a few other things to show off today. Pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and get things started today. And we're actually going to go right into a little bit of content because we did tease on social media yesterday, kind of quote tweeting the old MLB account. And I said the following, because we've had an amazing few days in baseball these last few days. I mean, between the Futures game, the Home Run Derby, the draft, the All-Star game, all the stuff that happened over the weekend over in Seattle. That was some pretty cool stuff. I mean, I watched the Home Run Derby. I got a kick out of Adley Rutschman batting switch hitting in the Home Run Derby. That was fun to watch. Julio Rodriguez hitting 41 bombs in the first round. Oh, man. I missed the softball game. I totally missed the softball game. Apparently, it was only on streaming for some reason, which saddens me. Hopefully, I can still watch that in my spare time. That'd be fantastic if anybody could help me find where it was. But to kind of, it's on YouTube. Okay, perfect. I'll have to take a look at that. But to kind of we wanted to celebrate the last weekend in our own way as well here in Perfect Team. So that is why we have some special content for you today based on the 2023 All-Star Weekend. Yes, we have permanent special packable cards that are based on some of the notable players from All-Star Weekend in Seattle. We have some fun cards that we're going to show off to you based on what happened last weekend. Oh, man. These are going to be fun. These are going to be pretty fun. So, let's start at the beginning of the All-Star Weekend. And we go to the Futures game. And the Futures game, it's a chance to see a lot of possible future stars in MLB get their due, get a little bit of exposure on a bigger stage here. So, we thought, why not make a card for the MVP of that game? So, ladies and gentlemen, from the Miami Marlins, we bring to you 85 overall future legend Nasim Nunez, the 2023 MLB All-Star Futures Game MVP. Whoo, Nelly. Whoo, boy. 76 BABIP, 41 power, 60 avoid K, 73 contact, 82 gap, and 88 on the eye. A little bit better against righties, but it's a little bit of even splits here. 76 BABIP against righties, 41, 60, 73, 82, 88 against righties. Only a 1-point difference in each category, except for avoid K and power against lefties. This guy is a speed demon as well. 104 speed, 101 stealing, 105 on the base running, 97 on the sack bunt, 97 on the bunt for hit. has some shortstop and second base on the base card, can trade up a little bit more at second base, can play practically all over the field except for catcher, with some pretty good defensive range on the infield. 99 range, 77 error, 85 arm, 92 turn double play on the infield. And in the outfield, it's actually not bad either. 78 range, 71 error, 67 on the arm. Now, Nasim Nunez, not exactly, a blue chip prospect in the Miami organization, He's the number 20 prospect in the Marlins organization. That's in the Marlins organization, according to MLB.com. But in Double-A this year, he's kind of been struggling a little bit. But he hit a 3-run double in the 6th inning to help the National League to a 5-0 shutout win against the American League. Good defender, good base runner. The hitting is going to be a little bit light. But I think given, maybe in some gold formats, could be a decent backup infield option, potentially. So there you go. Nasim Nunez, future legend from the Miami Marlins, is in Perfect Team 23. Now, again, we still have the baseball reference content set to go here. This is just a few special cards we decided to add in. So stay tuned for the baseball reference stuff coming up. So we had the futures game, but then let's talk about the actual game itself, the All-Star game. All right, National League winning for the first time in 11 years. 11 years since they last won an All-Star game, and that was back when Justin Verlander absolutely stunk up the joint in the first inning against the National League. I don't want to talk about it ever again, but there were a lot of people who could have been the MVP of the game. But this one right here, this guy right here, I don't think anybody was expecting this guy to do what he did in a key moment of the game. You have to go to the top of the 8th inning, down 2-1, and this guy came up to the plate hitting a 2-run homer in that 8th inning. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Colorado Rockies, your 2023 MLB All-Star Game MVP, Elias Diaz. 72 BABIP, 72 power, 69 avoid K, 83 contact, 73 gap, and 71 on the eye. And we got a nice little picture there for Mr. Diaz too. Nice. And he's a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. I mean, he hit that 2-run homer off of a righty, if y'all remember correctly. 76 BABIP, 72 power, 64 avoid K, 84 contact, 74 gap, and 67 eye against righties. And against lefties, he's got 86 eye against lefties. He's got 83 avoid K against lefties. So pretty interesting splits right here. Does this pull as a live card or as a historical? That is a great question. I need to recall. I think Paul's in the chat. He might be able to answer. I don't think they pull as live cards. I think they pull as historical. But I could be wrong on that. I need to double check. Yeah, I'll have to check back in with y'all on that. But no, this is not a bad card. They are non-live. Okay, so they're going to pull as historical non-live cards. All right. That's good. It's a non-live card. Perfect. Alrighty, so there you go. Elias Diaz from the Colorado Rockies. He also has some pretty good catcher ability as well. 93 catcher ability, 88 catcher arm. That's not bad. Especially defensively. Pretty good. Don't have this guy steal. Just don't. 4 speed, 6 stealing, 5 base running. Yeah, just don't have him be an aggressive base runner. That's good. All right, there you go. Elias Diaz from the Colorado Rockies. Your 2023 All-Star Game MVP is in. Perfect Team 24. Now, let's go back a day from the actual All-Star Game, and let's talk about that home run derby. Oh my goodness, what a fun home run derby that was. I mean, you had J-Rod hitting 41 bombs, you had Adley switch hitting at the plate, you had Mookie Betts trying his best, checking off a bucket list item. Go Mookie. But this guy, the big star of the show, your winner of the 2023 MLB Home Run Derby, it was 99 overall first baseman from the Toronto Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the trophy and the chain. Whoo! Hot art right there. 68 BABIP, 144 power, 80 avoid K, 108 contact, 76 gap, and 99 on the eye. And you know, there's not a whole lot of splits on this card here. I mean, just like a few points between each one potentially here. 145 power against righties, 141 against lefties. One more point in BABIP against righties than he is against lefties. One more point in contact. 6 more points in gap power against righty. And 4 points more in eye against lefties than he is against righties. Defensively, you know, it's not bad. It's not terrible either. I mean, it's not good. But 67 range, 53 error, 61 arm, 54 on the turn double play, has stock defense at first, can learn third base as well, 14 speed, 74 stealing, 23 on the base running. But yep, 2023 Home Run Derby champion defeated Randy Arozarena in the finals to win his first Home Run Derby. And as y'all maybe recall, back in 2019, he participated in the Home Run Derby in Cleveland, and he hit 91 homers in total, but lost in the finals to Pete Alonso. So far this year, it's been a decent year for Vlad Jr. 274, 344, 443, 13 homers, 58 RBI, and 120 OPS plus. So there you go, 99 overall, Vlad Jr. in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, and you know, there's one more guy that we have to talk about from All-Star Weekend. Alright. And we go to probably, I think it was a couple of days before the Home Run Derby. And we go to the MLB draft held just across the way over at Lumen Field. And the Pittsburgh Pirates had the number 1 overall pick. And you know what they did with that number 1 overall pick? They drafted this guy right here. I'm going to have to eat some crow on this because I've been saying, you know what? We're not going to have this guy for a while. We're not going to have this. I'm going to eat some crow today because here we are. 100 overall future legend from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Skeens. 125 stuff, 107 movement, 99 homer rating, 92 pitcher BABIP, 93 on the control. Whoo, buddy. And look at the splits against righties. Look at the splits against righties. 131 stuff, 113 movement, 106 homer, 97 pitcher BABIP, 94 on the control. And he's a little bit of a two-way player. He can catch on his stock card. Wow. My, oh my. He's got fastball, slider, changeup combo on this. 63 contact, 64 power, 45 eye. Honestly, I did not notice until just now that he was a two-way player, so I did not prepare a batting slide. That is on me. My bad. But he can pitch and catch on his stock card. He can play all around the field, third base, first base, left and right. Cannot play up the middle, second, short, and center. But that's not bad at all. Let me see here. I do not have those stats right now, unfortunately. So, but, you know, this is still a fantastic card right here. Still a fantastic card. Kind of a decent hitter as a pitcher as well. 78 stamina, 39 on the hold runners. And as you know, Paul Skeens, what a year he had in college. 12-2 with a 1.69 ERA, 15.3 strikeouts per 9, 1.5 walks per 9. Drafted number 1 overall by Pittsburgh out of LSU, who he helped lead to the 2023 College World Series title. Pretty darn good right here. 100 overall, Paul Skeens, future legend from the Pittsburgh Pirates, is in Perfect Team 24. So there's your 4 special cards from All-Star Weekend that are going to be in packs at the end of the stream today. Fun stuff right there. And you know what's also pretty darn fun? Looking up some baseball stats, because I had to use a couple of services to kind of get some of these stats for these minor league players. And the big thing that I use for baseball stats is StatHead, powered by Baseball Reference. And you can join in on the fun too. If you use code 23OOTP25, you can save $25 off an annual baseball or all sport subscription. Offer expires on December 31st, 2023. And you know, it's not just for baseball. If you get that all sport subscription, it's for basketball, it's for football, it's for hockey. Pretty darn good right here. So if you use code 23OTP25 at checkout, you can save $25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscription through StatHead Baseball, powered by Baseball Reference. And speaking of Baseball Reference, let's get into the heart of the content here today. Baseball Reference Series 2. Now, last time we had some college guys that had at least a little bit of time up in the bigs and kind of base them on their college careers. That was fun. But this time, we're going to focus on some unique all-stars from the history of baseball. And let me tell you, we got quite a few. We got quite a few guys in here. We have approximately a lot of them to go through. Now, there's going to be 56 cards in total in this set. But we're going to show off about about 16 regular cards, 16 packable cards, and then 4 mission rewards that we're going to have today. So let's go ahead and get things started. We're going to show off a couple of iron cards for you first today. And we're going to go first to one of the most random all-stars, possibly in this century. One of the most random all-stars of this century. And he comes to us from the 2004 Kansas City Royals. Ladies and gentlemen, 55 overall first baseman from the 2004 Kansas City Royals is Ken Harvey. Ken Harvey, 81 BABIP, 55 power, 53 avoid K, 78 contact, 52 gap power, 49 on the eye. Kind of better against righties than he is against lefties. He's got 81 BABIP, 56 power, 54 avoid K, 79 contact, 51 gap, and 50 eye against righties. And against lefties, 81 BABIP, 51 power, 49 avoid K, 74 contact, 56 gap, and 45 eye. He can play first base and left field. Not well, though. 40 range, 38 error, 42 arm, and 48 turn double play on the infield. In the outfield, he's got 42 range, 62 error, and 62 arm. Not much of a speedster. 17 speed, 12 stealing, 21 base running, 4 on the sac bunt, and 38 on the bunt for hit. Now, Ken Harvey, he had just one really good year in the major leagues. Like, this was it. This was practically it. I mean, he was okay in 2003 for the Royals. I mean, 266 with a 721 OPS, 13 homers. But this was his best year as a pro. 287, 338, 421 on the slash line, 13 homers, 55 RBI, and a 96 OPS plus. He was the lone Kansas City representative in the 2004 All-Star Game. Hit 305 with 10 homers and 34 RBI in the first half. And then just kind of fell off a little bit from there. In the All-Star Game, if I can pull up the box score. Did he even get into the game? Oh yeah, he got into the game. Struck out against Randy Johnson in the top of the third. So, 0 for 1 with a strikeout against Randy Johnson in his only plate appearance in the All-Star Game. Meh. But yeah, All-Star in 2004 for the Royals, and then his career just kind of fell off from there. He was cut by the Royals after 2005, and actually played in independent ball in 2006. Kind of a bit of a drop-off there from his career high right there, but man, oh man. Ken Harvey, one of the most random All-Stars in this century. In Perfect Team 24. All right, next up. I gotta say, this next Iron card we have, could potentially be one of the best starting pitchers in Iron level. Now, I could be completely wrong. I know there's a lot of people that may have a different opinion than I do, and that's okay. I'm just looking at the eye test here, and this might be the best Iron starter pitcher that we might have at this point in the game. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Let me introduce you from the 1984 Montreal Expos, 56 overall, Charlie Lee. 64 stuff, 69 movement, 63 home run rating, 87 pitcher BABIP, and 70 on the control. He's got a little bit of reverse splits against lefties. 66 stuff, 71 movement, 65 homer rating, 89 pitcher BABIP, and 67 on the control. Against righties, he's actually not bad either. 62 stuff, 68 movement, 61 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 72 control. 84 stamina, 56 hold runners, fastball, curveball, changeup combination. Charlie Lee played several years for the Montreal Expos, from 80 up to one bad game in 1987. But for a few years there in the early 80s, he was a darn good pitcher in that Montreal rotation. 1984, probably one of his best years. 15-10 with a 2.89 ERA, 4.9 strikeouts per 9, 2.7 walks per 9, and a 1.186 whip. That's not bad. He was one of 4 Expos on the 1984 All-Star roster, and he started the game for the National League. Went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, and a couple of strikeouts, but he also got the win in that game. Now, after 1984, it was injuries. Lots and lots of injuries. In fact, after 1984, he did not play another game until 1987, when he had 1 inning, giving up 4 runs with the Expos. Did not play a full season again until 1988 with the Minnesota Twins because of arm and shoulder issues that he had. Oof. But Charlie Lee, you know what? This is probably the big highlight of his career right here. His 1984 season, starting the All-Star game, helping the NL win that game. This guy could probably also play in bronze tourneys potentially. I mean, this is a solid iron card right here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Lee from the 1984 Montreal Expos in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty. So, moving on, let's go to a couple of cards in the bronze level. Now, there's only one reason why I have this next card in the set, and that is because of his defense at what could be a pretty interesting format. Some bronze floor formats. This guy could be an excellent defender in the outfield for your team in those kind of tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, 60 overall center fielder from the 1989 California Angels. We have Devon White. Now you look at this Devon White card. This card's not a great hitter. Let's be straight up on this one right here. 62 BABIP, 50 power, 49 avoid K, 59 contact, 56 gap, 34 I. This card, not a great hitter. Let's be honest with ourselves about that. But what you would want this guy for is that outfield defense over there. 98 range, 87 error, and 73 outfield arm in center field. Now, he only has center field stock on his card. Can also train up in right field if you decide you want to use him in league play. Speed, stealing, and base running, not bad either. 98 speed, 96 stealing, 100 on the base running. So he could be a great option off the bench in those kind of bronze floor cap formats, potentially, because 60 overall in that format, very, very valuable. Big speed, big defense, pretty darn good. 1989 season for Devon White, 245, 282, 371. He did hit 12 homers, though. 56 RBI and stole 44 bases. This was his first All-Star game selection of his career. He had a couple of more appearances after that with the Blue Jays. I believe he actually, if I'm not mistaken, he had one All-Star appearance with the Blue Jays in 93, and then in 98 with the Arizona Diamondbacks early in their existence. He was one of only 2 Angels on that team in 1989, the other one being Chuck Finley. He won the Gold Glove in 1989, so pretty much the defense right there being as it is. But, you know, in his lone play appearance in the 89 All-Star game, went 0 for 1 with a ground out. So, not the best performance in the world, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Devon White from the 1989 California Angels is in Perfect Team 24. All right, so there you go. Now we took a little look at defense here. Now let's take a little look at some offense in the bronze ranks. And ladies and gentlemen, our next card comes to us from the 1996 Montreal Expos. 63 overall left fielder, Henry Rodriguez. Henry Rodriguez, big power guy right here. 68 BABIP, 97 power, 29 avoid K, 68 contact, 95 gap, and 40 on the eye. A little bit better against righties. A lot better against righties than he is against lefties. 71 BABIP, 98 power, 32 avoid K, 72 contact, 97 gap, 41 on the eye. Speed, stealing, and base running. No. He can play first base. He can play left field stock. He can train up a little bit in right field in league play. Defensively in the outfield, he's got 49 range, 56 error, 72 on the arm. At first base, he's got 37 range, 27 error, 31 arm, and 30 on the turn double play. He is a strikeout machine. That is one thing about Henry Rodriguez that needs to be known right off the bat. This guy strikes out a lot. And in 1996, he led Major League Baseball in strikeouts with 160 of them in 145 games. It's not ideal, but you know what? This guy has a lot of power in his bat. He had a career high in home runs during the year, hit 276, 325, 562 on the slash line with 36 homers during the regular season, 103 RBI, and a 127 OPS plus. This was the lone All-Star Game selection of Henry Rodriguez's career. He had a couple of years with the Cubs where he hit a lot of dingers. Actually hit 304 in 1999, which is incredible. But his RBI single gave the NL a 2-0 lead in the second inning in his lone plate appearance in the 1996 All-Star Game. So there you go. Henry Rodriguez doing his part for his team in the All-Star Game in 1996, and he is in. Perfect team. 24. Alrighty, so there's a couple of bronze cards in there. We're going to have a listing of some of the other cards that you'll see in the set later on in the program, but let's move on to some silver cards. We got a couple of silver cards we're going to be showing off to you here today. And we start off our silver journey with one of our 2 silver cards. There's not 2 silver cards in the whole thing, but like you get what I mean. Either way, our next card comes to us from the 2014 Pittsburgh Pirates. And this guy played a lot of positions for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2014. Was one of their kind of underrated key cogs in their offense during that time period when the Pirates were actually good. Ladies and gentlemen, 76 overall third baseman from the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is Josh Harrison. Josh Harrison, 90 BABIP, 57 power, 86 avoid K, 98 contact, 95 gap power, and 34 on the eye. Against lefties, whoo boy, those splits against lefties. He is pretty darn good against the southpaws. 92 BABIP, 51 power, 100 avoid K, 103 contact, 102 gap, and 35 eye. Against righties, it's a little bit worse. I'll just say that much. 89 BABIP, 58 power though, so he has a little bit more power against righties. 81 avoid K, 96 contact, 93 gap, and 33 eye. He can play second, he can play third, he can play left, he can play right. And he can do them not bad. 79 range, 79 error, 94 arm, and 75 turn double play on the infield. In the outfield, he's got 54 range, 65 error, 75 on the arm. 72 speed, 84 stealing, 90 base running. Don't have this guy bunt either. 9 sack bunt, 45 on the bunt for hit. This is a very interesting option for silver tournaments, especially given his positional versatility, especially given how pretty decent he is at defending as well. Plus, he's got a pretty good contact bat. He's not going to walk a whole lot. Probably won't hit a whole lot of homers for you, but he's not going to strike out a whole lot either. 2014 for Josh Harrison, probably the best year, definitely the best year of his career. 315, 347, 490 on the slash line, 13 homers, 52 RBI, and a 133 OPS plus. This is the first of 2 All-Star Game selections in his career. The other one happening in 2017 with Pittsburgh, where he hit 16 homers that year. He actually finished 9th in NL MVP in 2014 as well. This was a career high year for him in wins above replacement with 5.6 wins above replacement. He had 1.7 defensive wins above replacement as well. That was definitely a high mark in his career. Now, I believe he actually started the game. Let me double check just to make sure I'm not BSing here. He did not start. He was on the bench for the NL All-Stars. But he went 0 for 2 in a couple of play appearances, so it was not the best. But Josh Harrison, pretty good player for the Pirates in 2014. He is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, next up. Let's go to the turn of the century. The turn of the 21st century. Y2K. The Baltimore Orioles still stunk. Which they did until, like, gosh, the early 2010s. But they did have some All-Stars back around that time period. You know, along with some other guy named Cal Ripken Jr. This next guy was the other representative for Baltimore during the 2000 season in that All-Star game. Ladies and gentlemen, their shortstop, 77 overall, Mike Bordick. This is a guy I have not thought about in a long time, if at all. 75 BABIP, 65 power, 64 void K, 81 contacts, 75 gap, 56 on the eye. Now, he's a little bit better against lefties than he is against righties here. 81 BABIP, 69 power, 70 avoid K, 89 contact, 82 gap, and 58 on the eye. A little bit worse against righties. We'll skip that for right now. Speed, stealing, and base running, not great. Not good. Good either. 49 speed, 41 stealing, 81 on the base running though. It's not bad. At least the base running's not bad. I mean, he can be a little bit aggressive on the base paths, but you make the call on that. 59 sack bunt, 50 on the bunt for hit. Defensively, he's solid. I wouldn't exactly play him at shortstop, but he is eligible to learn over at second base for your league team if you decide to use him there. 81 range, 90 error, 82 arm, and 85 on the turn double play. 2000 season for Mike Bordick was pretty good. If you talk about, his Orioles time. Because, with Baltimore, he hit pretty well. 16 homers, 59 RBI with the team. Overall, during the year, hit 285, 341, 443 with 20 homers, 80 RBI, and a 101 OPS+. This is the lone All-Star game appearance of his career, lined out to center field in the third in his lone All-Star game at bat. During the season, though, after the All-Star game, a couple weeks later, dude gets traded to the New York Mets. Because I believe Ray Ordonez had an injury there. Now, didn't quite work out. It was kind of a solid effort, but not the greatest. 260, 321, 365, 4 homers, 21 RBI in 56 games for the New York Mets. But the next year, came back to Baltimore. So, was it a good trade for the Mets? I don't know. Depends on who you ask. By the way, part of that trade, I will say, the return for the Orioles in that trade for Mike Bordick, they got from the New York Mets minor leaguer Pat Gorman, Leslie Bray, Mike Kincaid, and just some guy named Melvin Mora. Just some guy. Probably just a throw in right at the end there. Either way, Mike Bordick from the 2000 Baltimore Orioles is it. Perfect team. 24. All right, let's show off a couple of gold cards. We haven't seen a pitcher in a hot second. So let's show off a gold pitcher for you all today. This guy, pretty good pitcher BABIP here coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1939. That's right, we're going back to the 1930s for our next card. 1939 New York Yankees, 82 overall, right-handed starter, Red Ruffing. Red Ruffing, 66 stuff, 82 movement, 74 homer rating, 90 on the pitcher BABIP, and 69 control. Pretty nice right there. He's a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 67 stuff, 85 movement, 79 homer rating, 92 pitcher BABIP, and 75 on the control. 103 stamina, 76 on the hold runners. Fastball, slider, curveball combo on this guy. Pretty good pitcher BABIP here, given the gold ranks here. He's only going to pitch for you. He's not that great of a hitter, but Red Ruffing's 1939 was very solid. 21-7 during the regular season, a 2.93 ERA, 3.7 strikeouts per nine, 2.9 walks per nine. So the strikeout to walk rate is a little bit close. 1.48 ERA plus though, given everything. So that's pretty darn good. Third career All-Star Game selection for Red Ruffing in 1939. He started for the AL that year, pitched 3 innings with 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. Got a no decision in that game. During the 1939 season, he also led the American League in shutouts with 5 of them and finished 5th in the American League MVP vote. So, solid year for Red Ruffing. Hopefully he'll be solid for maybe your gold team. Maybe a low gold team. Potentially. It's not bad. Red Ruffing from the 1939 Yankees is in. Perfect team. 24. All right. We haven't gone behind the plate in a little bit. And that is where we're going to go for our next card. And we go to the 1996 New York Mets for their power hitting backstop. Ladies and gentlemen, 84 overall, Todd Hundley. 58 BABIP, 105 power, 48 avoid K, 78 contact, 76 gap, and 84 on the eye. Now he's definitely better against righties than he is against lefties. 59 BABIP, 112 power, 52 avoid K, 83 contact, 76 gap, and 86 eye. Fly ball, pole hitter guy, can spray the ball quite a bit if he gets the ball in the air as well. Defensively, he's not terrible. He's not great either. 71 ability, 61 on the arm. Don't have this guy's steal, 22 speed, 16 stealing. Base running's not bad at a 74. It's not bad. But 1996, definitely one of the best power hitting years for Todd Hundley in his career. Played quite a while, if I recall correctly. Played the entire 1990s and a little bit of the aughts. But mainly he was a New York Met. And boy, oh boy, did he hit some homers for them Mets. 259, 356, 550 on his slash line in 1996. One of 2 back-to-back All-Star Game appearances that he had. 41 homers, 112 RBI, and a 140 OPS plus. It's not his best season in terms of OPS plus. That would have been his next season in 1997. But he had a career high in homers, RBIs, hits, and wins above replacement during this year. Now, he was one of 2 Mets selected to the roster in 1996, the other one being Lance Johnson. And in his lone plate appearance in the game, in the All-Star game, nice little tiny fly out to the outfield. But yeah, this is a big power hitting card here for gold. the eye is okay. It's not like really great, but it's still pretty good. So power, eye, not bad here with this card. Todd Hundley from the 1996 New York Mets in Perfect Team 24. All right, folks. Let's talk about some diamonds. Because boy howdy, we got some diamonds for y'all today. And we are going to start out back on the pitcher's mound. Now this was one other extra throw-in diamond that I decided to put it in. You won't see it in the diamond and up social media slide at the end. But this guy, I had when I saw this name in the list of players that was in this set, I had to, gotta help a guy who grew up in my local area. One of the better left-handed relievers of the past 10, 15 years, probably, if you really think about it. This guy, second all-time in American League history in holds. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2010 Chicago White Sox, it is 93 overall lefty reliever Matt Thornton. Now, I may have been buttering him up a little bit. I may or may not have interviewed this guy a few weeks ago, but Matt Thornton, not bad. 123 stuff, 106 movement, 104 homer rating, 70 on the pitcher BABIP, 71 control. Pretty good against lefties, and he is against righties. 134 stuff, 115 movement, 114 homer rating, 75 pitcher BABIP, and 73 control. Against righties, it's fine. 120 stuff, 103 movement, 101 homer rating, 68 pitcher BABIP, and 71 control. 12 on the stamina, 62 on the hold runners. Fastball, slider, changeup combo on this guy. 2010, probably definitely one of the best years of Matt Thornton's career, except when he got a World Series ring with the 2013 Red Sox, even though he didn't pitch in the postseason, doggone it. But 61 games, 60.2 innings pitched, 5-4 record, a 2.67 ERA on the year, 12 strikeouts per 9, 3 walks per 9. He was a sneaky good strikeout guy. Late 2000s, early 2010s for the White Sox. This was the lone All-Star Game selection in Matt Thornton's career, one of 2 White Sox selections that year, the other one being Paul Konerko. He had 21 holds during the season, which not a lot of people know what holds are, but they're pretty valuable for a bullpen guy too. He is actually second all-time in American League history in holds, which that's pretty darn good. Now, in the 2010 All-Star Game, he kind of got the short end of the stick. He pitched a third of an inning, gave up a hit, gave up an earned run, and he recorded a blown save in the game. Not his best moment, but, he was just happy to be there. You know what I mean? So there you go. Matt Thornton, who grew up literally 15 minutes away from where I live. He is in Perfect Team 24. I actually interviewed him a few weeks ago for a story I did. Pretty good, pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Actually got a selfie with him. All right, next up we go to the north. Once again, we're going back to Canada for our next card, and we go to the hot corner of the 1990 Toronto Blue Jays. And we have 94 overall third baseman Kelly Gruber. Kelly Gruber, 62 BABIP, 92 power, 70 avoid K, 84 contact, 81 gap, and 53i. A little bit more power against righties, but a little bit more balanced against lefties. Against lefties, he's got 72 BABIP, 89 power, 69 avoid K, 90 contact, 88 gap, 63i. Against righties, however, gonna get a little bit more power, but a lot less BABIP. 59 BABIP, 93 power, 71 avoid K, 82 contact, 79 gap, and 49i. 56 speed, 74 stealing, 81 on the base running. Defensively, pretty decent defender over at the hot corner. 79 range, 70 error, 91 arm, and 71 on the turn double play. 25 on the sack bunt, 13 on the bunt for hit. 1990 for Kelly Gruber. A superbly solid one for Kelly Gruber. Kind of, toward the later end of his career, even though he was just 28 at the time. But hit 274, 330, 512, 31 homers, 118 RBI, and a 127 OPS plus. This is pretty much a career year for Kelly Gruber that year. Second of back-to-back All-Star selections that he had. And, he actually finished fourth in American League MVP during this year. Got a Gold Glove. Got a Silver Slugger as well. Now, Gruber, he started off as a pinch runner in the 1990 All-Star game. Did eventually get a couple of at-bats. He went 0 for 1. He actually drew a walk as well in the 1990 All-Star game. So, a decent showing, I guess. He got on base. Well, he was at first base a couple of times. That's pretty darn good right there. But there you go. Kelly Gruber, solid player for those 1990s Toronto Blue Jays. He is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, next up, let's go to Atlanta for our next card. And, one of this guy, we hear a lot as one of the good guys in baseball history. This guy, had a grassroots Hall of Fame candidacy right at the end of his candidacy period. I forget if he got in as well, but this guy right here, pretty darn good. 94 overall center fielder from the 1983 Atlanta Braves. It is Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy, 79 BABIP, 93 power, 58 avoid K, 93 contact, 63 gap, and 96 I. Now, he is splitty. Splitty. Like really splitty. Oh my goodness, he was splitty guy. Let's take a look at those 1983 splits before we move on here, all right? Hit 321, 416, 593 with 31 homers and 100 RBI, a 1,009 OPS plus against righties. Against lefties, 252, 330, 396, 5 homers, 21 RBI, and a 726 OPS. Not exactly great. So that's why you kind of have this big disparity in split here. Against righties, he's got 82 BABIP, 101 power, 61 avoid K, 100 contact, 60 gap power, and 99 on the eye. Speed, stealing, and base running, pretty decent. 83 speed, 91 stealing, 96 base running. Defensively, he can play both left and center on his stock card. He is eligible for league play to be trained up at first and right. 80 range, 76 error, and 74 on the arm. I would not play this guy at first, by the way. Would not play this guy at first. He's got 10 range, 5 error, 1 arm, and 5 on the turn double play. Not great. But 1983 for Dale Murphy, solid. 302, 393, 540 on the slash line, 36 homers, 121 RBI, a 149 OPS plus. He was a 1983 National League MVP despite those splits. Won a Gold Glove, won a Silver Slugger as well. He started in right field for the National League All-Star team, one of 4 Atlanta Braves named to that roster. 1 for 3 in the game, had an RBI single in the 4th inning of the 1983 All-Star game. So there you go. Dale Murphy from the 1983 Atlanta Braves. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Alrighty, next up. You know, this next guy right here. Nobody really thinks a lot about Cincinnati Reds shortstops that are not named Barry Larkin. But this next guy had a supernova year for the Reds, supernova first half for the Reds, and he made an all-star team and actually started the game for the all-star team, for the National League in this year. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2017 Cincinnati Reds, this guy had just a random year here, folks. Randomly good year. Ladies and gentlemen, 96 overall shortstop from those 2017 Reds, it is Zach Cozart. Yeah, I was shocked too. 71 BABIP, 85 power, 84 avoid K, 92 contacts, 86 gap, and 88 I. Look at those splits against lefties. Oh my God. 82 BABIP, 93 power, 88 avoid K, 106 contacts, 106 gap, and 89 I. Whoo! Okay. You go, Zach Cozart. Against righties, that's a little bit down. 67 BABIP, 82 power, 83 avoid K, 88 contacts, 79 gap, 88 I. Speed, stealing, and base running, not the greatest. 47 speed, 78 stealing, 67 base running. Defensively, he's not bad. He's got shortstop as his main position. He's eligible to be trained up at third base as well. 89 range, 83 error, 89 arm, and 82 on the turn double play. I was shocked by these ratings when I first saw them, but they kind of do check out a little bit. 2017 hit 297, and that should say a 385 on base percentage. I guess I just double tapped the 8 for some reason. That's on me. 548 slugging with 24 home runs. 24 home runs. 63 RBI and a 140 OPS plus for those 2017 Reds. Lone All-Star Game selection of his career. The last full MLB season of his career at age 31. Had career highs in average, homers, RBI, OPS plus. Walked 62 times. Not bad. I think this was a contract year for him too, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he was the starter for the National League in the 2017 All-Star Game. He went 1 for 2 with a single in the third inning. And like our guy Paul said in the live chat, turned that year into $40 million from the LA Angels. And just like the LA Angels, well, he became an Angel and played just 96 games in 2 years. The Angels. The Angels. So there you go. Zach Cozart from the 2017 Cincinnati Reds. He is in. Perfect team 24. All right, next up. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. You want to talk about power, guys, of the mid-20th century. This guy has to be up there. This guy has to be up there as one of the best power hitters of the mid-20th century. Because this guy, oh man, he was hitting dingers all over the ballpark for several years. And they just kind of fizzled out kind of at the end. But his 1950 season was an all-star year, folks. One of many for this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1950 Pittsburgh Pirates, it is 97 overall left fielder Ralph Kiner. Ralph Kiner, 54 BABIP, 123 power, 67 avoid K, 87 contact, 50 gap, and 112 on the eye. Splits against lefties, 59 BABIP, 116 power, 64 avoid K, 88 contact, 53 gap, and 125 eye. Against righties, he's got 52 BABIP, 125 power, 68 avoid K, 87 contact, 49 gap, and 108 on the eye. Outfield-wise, he can play left field, is qualified to learn in center field. You can train him up there in league play, if you so choose. 57 range, 53 error, 67 on the arm, 17 speed, 7 stealing, and 47 base running. 1950 year for Ralph Kiner. Oh man, Ralph Kiner. Take a look at these stats right here. 272, 408, 590 with 47 home runs, 118 RBI, and a 156 OPS plus. This wasn't even the best year of this insane 6-year stretch this guy had. Like, from 1948 to 1953. Also, this year, 1950, he finished 5th in the NL MVP, 3rd of 6 straight All-Star Game selections, which went between 1948 and 1953. During that time period, he hit 280 with 255 homers. Per 162 games, that is a 45 homer season with 120 RBI. That's pretty good. Heck, that'd be all-star numbers in this day and time. Holy cats. Goodness gracious. Ralph Kiner led MLB in homers and intentional walks during the 1950 season. He had 19 intentional walks. And during the All-Star game, he went 2 for 6 with an RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout in that 1950 All-Star game. So there you go. Ralph Kiner from the 1950 Pittsburgh Pirates is in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's go back to the pitcher's mound. And you know, sometimes there are players who do become all-stars, had a fantastic first half of the year, and despite everything, did not pitch in the game. For some reason or another, they did not pitch in the game. This is one of those pitchers, as unfortunate as it may be. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1948 St. Louis Cardinals, we have 98 overall left-hander Harry Brackeen. Harry Brackeen, 92 stuff, 97 movement, 94 homer rating, 73 pitcher BABIP, and 93 control. Now the BABIP, not great. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Against lefties, he's got 85 stuff, 104 movement, 106 homer rating, 68 pitcher BABIP, and 97 control. Against righties, he's got 95 stuff, 95 movement, 90 homer rating, 75 pitcher BABIP, and 91 control. 87 stamina, 76 on the hold runner, fastball, curveball, and screwball combo on this guy. Now, the 1948 season for Harry Burkeen, absolutely solid. He actually led the NL in a couple of categories during that 1948 season. Second of 2 All-Star Game selections in his career. Finished 5th in NL MVP that year. Had a 2.24 ERA, 20-7 record. Led the National League in strikeout rate, led the National League in homer rate, led the National League in WHIP, led the National League in FIP, led the National League in ERA plus with a 182. And yet, despite all that, he actually had 7 shutouts during the season as well. But despite all that, for one reason or another, and I tried looking this up, couldn't find it, he did not pitch in the game. Which just kind of, just baffles my mind. I mean, given the era, 1948, pitchers were, pitching quite a bit. I just want to see. I want to see if there is anything. Maybe in Saber has something? Maybe? Might have been. Okay, this might be it. I mean, he was 33 at the time, plagued by an elbow that puffed up like a balloon after every start. Burkeen needed some extra time between starts during the cold weather of the early weeks. Okay, that's fine. Huh. Weird. I can't find a reason why he wouldn't have pitched in that game. Huh. There are only 7 pitchers used in the entire All-Star game between both teams. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Well, I'll have to investigate that. Huh. Interesting. Well, there you go. I went back a little bit with Mr. Burkeen. My bad on that. But there you go. Harry Burkeen from the 1948 St. Louis Cardinals in Perfect Team 24. Yeah, just build a time machine. Go back in time and ask him. Sure. Why not? Why not? Why not? Now, although in fairness, there are only 6 pitchers on the NL team, so he was one of 2 not to pitch. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of weird, because you would think you'd want to play all your players. That's just my thought on the whole thing, especially in the 40s. But, I'm just going to shrug and move on here. All right, next up on the old card list here, got a couple more packable cards to show off for you today before we get to our mission rewards. And our next guy comes to us from a pretty weird place, I guess. Just kind of, I guess weird for me, because I don't think a lot of people think about the 1970s Milwaukee Brewers. Just out of principle, really. I don't know. But this guy, made an all-star team at one point for the Milwaukee Brewers. Our next guy comes to us from the 1970 Milwaukee Brewers, ladies and gentlemen, 98 overall, third baseman, Tommy Harper. Now, Tommy Harper, a guy that I barely ever think about. 79 BABIP, 92 power, 68 avoid K, 96 contact, 79 gap power, 82 on the eye. Very good against righties. Would not want to play him against lefties, but I do recommend playing him against righties. 82 BABIP, 98 power, 72 avoid K, 103 contact, 76 gap, and 81 eye. Now, this guy can play a few positions on the field on his stock card. Second base, third base, left field, and a little bit of center field Can be trained up into right field, though, if your heart so desires. Defensively on the infield, though, is probably where you might want to play him. 95 range, 67 error, 105 on the arm, and 80 on turnable play. This guy's a rocket for an arm over at the hot corner. Now, in the outfield, it's a little middling. 69 range, 67 error, 62 on the arm. But this guy can steal. This guy fast. 91 speed, 90 stealing, 96 on the base running. And I think that's mainly the reason why his only appearance in the 1970 All-Star Game, his lone All-Star Game appearance, was as a pinch runner. Got caught stealing and was never seen in the All-Star Game again. I guess that caught stealing was just embarrassing enough to have him not play a single at bat in the rest of the game. Well, that stinks, doesn't it? But Tommy Harper, 1970, he had a pretty good year. 296, 377, 522 on the slash line, 31 homers, 82 RBI, and a 146 OPS plus. 6th in AL MVP that year, the lone All-Star Game selection of his career. He had career highs in homers, RBI, average, and OPS plus during this season. So there you go. Tommy Harper from the 1970 Milwaukee Brewers is it. Perfect team 24. Yeah, 30-30 season for Mr. Harper. Not bad. All right, one more packable card to show off for you guys today. One more packable card. And it comes to us from the 1991 California Angels. And boy howdy, if you want stuff on your relievers, we got stuff for you. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1991 California Angels, right-handed closer, Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey, 151 stuff, 81 movement, 73 homer rating, 94 pitcher BABIP, and 93 control. Now, a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 154 stuff, 82 movement, 74 homer rating, 95 pitcher BABIP, and 93 control. 30 on the stamina, 61 on the hold runners. However, I do want to point out, ground ball pitcher type, which with this kind of a profile, with some lesser homers, with a higher pitcher BABIP, you don't necessarily see often. So he's got some pitcher BABIP. He's got some ground ball tendencies on him. Put a good defense behind him. He might be pretty solid in a bullpen, potentially. Now, obviously, you got the homer rating. It's a little bit on the lower side for a diamond of this guy, of this caliber. But, I feel like, he could probably with a good defense behind him, maybe a ballpark tailored to his skills, he could thrive. So there you go. He's got a fastball, forkball combo. 1991 for Brian Harvey. Pretty darn good. 78 and 2/3 innings pitched, in 67 games, 46 saves on the year. Led the American League in saves that year. 1.60 ERA. Pretty darn good right there. And 11.6 strikeouts per 9. Finished 5th in AL Cy Young voting, one of 2 All-Star selections for the 1991 Angels. Led MLB in games finished that year, but just like Harry Burkeen, did not pitch in the game. Doggone it. But there you go. Brian Harvey, big stuff guy, pretty decent pitcher BABIP guy as well. He is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, so there's a look at some of the packable cards. We'll take a look in a little bit at some other Baseball Reference 2 cards in today's set. We'll take a look at those after we get through our mission rewards. That's right. There are a few missions that are going to be coming out today for the Baseball Reference 2 collection. Now, who will you get for completing the Baseball Reference related missions that will be releasing today? Well, folks, our first mission reward is going to be from our one-time All-Stars mission reward. So out of the Baseball Reference 2 cards, I do believe those who were one-time All-Stars. And you know what? If we want to get a one-time All-Star in here, why not pick a big name from the 1980s that was a one-time All-Star? And ladies and gentlemen, that guy is 85 overall, left fielder from the 1989 Kansas City Royals, Bo Jackson. And boy, oh boy, we got a powerful Bo Jackson card right here. 78 BABIP, 112 power, 30 avoid K, 79 contact, 64 gap, and 58 I. Against righties, he's got 76 BABIP, 115 power, 30 avoid K, 79 contact, 64 gap, and 49 I. But against lefties, he's got 83 BABIP, 104 power, 30 avoid K, 81 contact, 62 gap, and 85 I. 93 speed, 94 stealing, 97 base running, can play all three outfield positions on the stock card, left field, center field, and right field, 86 range, 53 error, and 115 arm. 115 arm. That's pretty darn good. 1989 for Bo Jackson. Not his best year, but his only All-Star game selection. 256, 310, 495 on the slash line, 32 homers, 105 RBI, and a 124 OPS plus. Finished 10th in American League MVP voting that year, the lone All-Star game selection of his career. Led MLB in strikeouts during that year, all things considered. Career highs, though, in homers and RBI. Not bad, not bad. Started for the AL in the 1989 All-Star game, went 2 for 4 with a homer, 2 RBI, runs scored, and a stolen base. So not a bad day at the office. Not a bad day at the office for Mr. Bo Jackson. And he is your Baseball Reference 2 one-time All-Stars, which we are calling the Lone Stars collection for our missions today. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Alrighty. Next up. Let's go to our next one, and we go to our Baseball Reference 2. Oh, which one did I have next? Okay. Our Baseball Reference 2 National League collection. Which I didn't know the name beforehand, so ignore the stuff at the top left of the screen because I wasn't 100% sure what the name of the mission was going to be. But this is for the Baseball Reference 2 National League collection. And if you complete that collection, you will get 100 overall Johnny Mize from the 1940 St. Louis Cardinals. 87 BABIP, 129 power, 81 avoid K, 119 contact, 82 gap power, 95 on the eye. Against righties, look at the stuff against righties here. 89 BABIP, 132 power, 88 avoid K, 124 contact, 83 gap, 98 eye. Whoo, buddy. Whoo, buddy. That's not bad at all. Defensively, he can just play first base, 49 range, 49 error, 45 arm, and 45 on the turn double play. 38 speed, 78 stealing, 34 base running as well. Don't have this guy bunt. 1940 season for Johnny Mize, pretty good. 313, 404, 636 on the slash line, 43 homers, 137 RBI, and a 177 OPS plus. Finished second in NL MVP, third of 10 All-Star Game selections that Johnny Mize had in his career. Led MLB in homers that year and led the National League in RBI, OPS, and OPS plus. Started for the NL during that game, went 0 for 2 in the 1940 All-Star Game. So there you go. Johnny Mize, your Baseball Reference 2 National League mission reward in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, next up, we go to our Baseball Reference 2 American League mission reward. And it brings to us 100 overall center fielder from the Boston Red Sox, peak card, Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn, 91 BABIP, 109 power, 74 avoid K, 113 contact, 108 gap, and 100 on the eye. Whoo, buddy. Now this guy, pretty splitty. 97 BABIP against righties, 115 power, 77 avoid K, 120 contact, 111 gap power, and 102 on the eye. But man, oh man, his defense in the outfield, pretty good. 92 range, 106 error, and 91 arm. He can play left. He can play center. He can play right. They're all stock on the card. He's already a 105 in left field. He's already a 103 in right field. He's a 98 in center. That's pretty darn good, folks. 43 speed, though, for 51 stealing, 66 on the base running. Fred Lynn, though, does have a place in All-Star Game history as the only player to this day to have hit a grand slam in an All-Star Game. It's pretty good. It's pretty good right there. He started 6 of the 9 All-Star games that he ever participated in. 9-time All-Star, the 1975 Rookie of the Year and MVP. 283, 360, 484, 306 homers, 1,111 RBI. And you know who he hit that grand slam off of? One Atlee Hammaker in the All-Star game. Interesting stuff. So there you go. Fred Lynn, your Baseball Reference 2 AL mission reward. And if you complete those 3 missions, you will receive, as part of the Baseball Reference 2 complete mission, you will receive 100 overall left-handed starting pitcher from the 1934 New York Giants, Carl Hubbell. Carl Hubbell, 83 stuff, 100 movement, 91 homer rating, 95 pitcher BABIP, and 117 control. Against lefties, 78 stuff, 102 movement, 94 homer rating, 91 pitcher BABIP, and 119 control. Against righties, 84 stuff, 99 movement, 90 homer rating, 97 pitcher BABIP, and 117 control. Pretty good stuff right here. 109 stamina, 78 on the hold runners, fastball, curveball, screwball combo for Carl Hubble. 1934 season, went 21-12 with a 2.30 ERA. 3.4 strikeouts per 9, 1.1 walks per 9. He didn't walk a whole lot. 168 on the ERA plus. Now, led the NL in ERA, WHIP, ERA plus, led MLB in complete games, finished 9th in NL MVP. 1934 season was the second of 9 All-Star Game selections that were there. I want to tell you a little bit about his start in the 1934 All-Star Game. Because this guy went 3 innings, struck out 6 guys, walked only 2, gave up no earned runs in 3 innings pitched. And here's a who's who of the guys he struck out during that game. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, Joe Cronin, and, well, Lefty Gomez, but that's a pitcher right there. But 5 of those 6 strikeouts were consecutive. Ruth, Gehrig, Fox, Simmons, Cronin, back to back to back to back to back during the 1934 All-Star Game. That's impressive. And that was with runners on first and second. Actually, no, hang on a minute. No, that was with runners. Yeah, runners on first and second with nobody out. And he struck out those 5 in a row. Crazy. Crazy. So there you go. Carl Hubble from the 1934 New York Giants is your Baseball Reference 2 complete mission reward. Not bad at all. All right, folks. Time for some names. Because here's a look at some other Baseball Reference 2 cards that are going to be in today's set. You got A.J. Pollock, Ben Oglivie, Robbie Thompson, Ricky Romero, Dickie Thon, Red Rolfe, Ray Fosse, Patrick Corbin, Michael Kadire, Johnny Podres, Chad Billingsley, Jordan Walden. Jordan Walden, man, when was the last time y'all thought about Jordan Walden? Seriously. Mark Grace, Ian Desmond, Rolando Arroyo, Arroyo? Probably Arroyo. Yeah, well. Damian Easley, Mike Boddicker, Stephen Vogt, Shea Hillenbrand, Aaron Cook, Brian LaHare, Bud Harrelson. By the way, that Bud Harrelson, very, very good defender. That was the last guy on the cutting room floor for this set, at least for this stream. Scott Podsednik, Paul Casanova, Emil Verban, and Chris Cannizzaro. That's a pretty cool list right there, folks. All right, so there you go. That is your Baseball Reference 2 set. Some pretty cool guys. You had Bo Jackson, Carl Hubble, Johnny Mize, Fred Lynn as mission rewards. You got some great packables like Dale Murphy, Kelly Gruber, Zach Cozart, Tommy Harper, Brian Harvey, Ralph Kiner, Harry Brackeen. Good luck to y'all finding these guys in packs and, first, those 4 cards we mentioned a little bit earlier, in missions. All right, before we sign off for the rest of the day today, let's congratulate our weekly tournament leaderboard champions for Week 14. Perfect Team Championship Series for period number 1. From July 3rd to July 9th, your winner of the Daily Iron was D. Dempsey 941 and the Orleans Firebirds with 130 points. Daily Bronze was Zargian 2 and the Debrecen Giants with 93 points last week. The Daily Silver last week was won by A. Progler and the Ninja Black Sox with 170 points. Daily Gold was won by Dan Johns in the generic size perfect point package for the 3rd straight week with 120 points. For the Daily Diamond last week, Admiral Relativity was at the top of the leaderboards with the Lamarinda Star Crushers with 181 points, 2nd week in a row for Admiral Relativity at the top. Daily Open won by Dragglefred and the Seattle Aftershocks with 155 points. Daily Wildcard, Jeff LTN and the Value City Viffers on top with 124 points. Weekly tournaments last week won by MacJax and the San Angelo Warbirds with 216 points. And then we had the Perfect Draft Daily with Heracross and the Metropolis Meteors with 126 points. And in the Perfect Draft Weekly, Lowly Worm and Dishnets Fishnets, yeehaw, in first place with 73 points. So congratulations to all of our weekly leaderboard champions. Congratulations. May we see your names next week on this board. We'll find out. So there you go, folks. That's going to do it for today for This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 211. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cards are live right now. Have fun, folks. Thanks for tuning in today. I will see you back here on Friday night for the Friday Showdown. Take care, y'all. Dishnet34, Rob Tomlinson, signing out. Have a great night, everybody.